Hello, friends, and welcome to part 37 of Ghost of Tsushima with a Therapist. I say it every time. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for sticking this out. We're a long way in. Thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for the comments. Continue to leave those. Check out the links in the description. All that fun stuff. Would love to see you live sometime. Come hang out in the Discord channel. If you financially support the stream in any way as well, thank you very much for doing that. Really grateful for it. And if you happen to be somebody who works for Sucker Punch and you're watching this, big shout out to you. Thanks for watching this. I hope that my playthrough has been doing your game justice. And if anybody on your team would ever like to talk to me about the game, by all means, let me know. You can reach me on socials or at DrMickLive@gmail.com. All right, let's rock. Let's go talk to our boy Norio. What I'm going to propose is that we start at Sago Mill, and then I'm going to liberate that camp on the way, and we'll talk to him. This depressing ass place. Tea is steeped. Ready for the playthrough. Shout out again to Phoenix Pearl Tea Company. They do not sponsor me, but they make great tea. And if you've been looking for a place that's got awesome loose leaf tea, you should totally check them out because they're fantastic. They don't pay me to say that. I just believe it. Aegon, thank you for the Prime sub. Don't really care to fight you guys. You're lame. Oh, hell no. Okay. Oh, that's fine. No, that's fine. That's fine. You know, I was gonna let you live. But if you're gonna try to pull the Michigan on me in a beer league game, you're gonna get your ass kicked. I mean, if you're gonna shoot me on an arrow when I'm on my horse, or with an arrow while I'm on my horse. Ooh, I love the... I love Jin's doing the little slide in the winter. It's like me back when I lived in Indiana during the winter. I do that shit all the time. Oh good, more Mongols. There better not be any archers to try to shoot me, man. I'm not in the mood right now. I'm in the mood to drive right through your dumbasses. Derelict mine. Ooh. Derelict is one of my favorite words. Underused. Boom. Okay. Fun fact, my first exposure ever to the word derelict was Mass Effect. You board the Derelict Reaper. Kubchur. Initially a kind of levy imposed by Mongol rulers on the flocks and herds of their semi-nomadic subjects. Kubchur, I wish they had a pronunciation thing next to the word, has become a basis for taxation throughout the Mongol Empire. Under this system, Mongols in a military campaign are not paid, but are instead required to make payments to their immediate commanders. This practice motivates the plunder of conquered areas so that troops earn enough for themselves while meeting the demands of their superiors. Wow. Yes, Saggy, I have. That's why I only ever make right turns toward the camera. Sorry, Norio. If I get a question mark, I'm gonna look at it. That's the way I am. In the paper, the news, every day I am. At times I just feel like my father. I hate to be bothered. Cool bamboo. One more. I gotta tell you, these glow bugs drive me crazy. I love the way that this attire looks, but man, oh man. Worst thing I ever did was upgrade that. If you're watching this and you plan to play the game yourself someday, don't upgrade that to a wider area. As it just makes it worse because of the way that stupid bug works. All right.
A monk preaching a Mongol cause. Time to end this.
Wait, what? Jin, you better not even think about trying to kill him.
You're the ghost?
Damn right I am. What's up, amigo?
You were praising the Mongols. Do they pay well for your services?
If they refuse, they kill us. But the Guardian's brother will change that.
What do you know about Norio?
He's going to lead us to victory. I can take you to him.
Yeah, they pay me with my life. I mean, that seemed pretty obvious at this point. Like, I'm kind of surprised that Jin's that incensed by that. Like, of course that's why. Like, of course it's why. Or the guy believes in the Mongol cause, I guess, but, like, it's a good alibi. But, like, I mean, that totally stands to reason. They're helpless. They don't have samurai skills. They don't have guns and ammo laying around. They're like, preach the gospel of the Mongols, or we'll kill you. Somebody walked up to me and pointed a gun at my head. Said, preach the gospel. Read the Quran. Preach the Torah. I don't know. Pick whatever religious text you want. You best believe I'm about to be the greatest Hindu you've ever seen in your life. Somebody's pointing a gun to my head. I mean, it just makes sense. Some people will die on that hill. Some people will be like, nope, I won't. And that's fine. But it makes sense why people
This
would.
way, my lord.
Does Norio know you're helping the Mongols?
Until we take back Cedar Temple, he told us to keep cooperating, so they don't suspect us.
That doesn't sound like Norio.
Really? But you inspire everything he does. He always talks about what he learned from the ghost.
It makes sense to me that Norio would say that. Norio's whole thing has been like trying to keep people safe. Work with the Mongols and wait till me and the ghost figure it out. Seems perfectly legitimate to me. Unless I'm missing something, but like that totally seems like the type of thing that I would expect Norio to say. That is absolutely what I would say. Like, yeah, you guys were helpless as hell. So yes, work with the Mongols for a little bit. Trust that me and the ghost are figuring this shit out. And Jin, luckily at this point, has done enough that I would trust that because people have seen it.
I brought the ghost!
Here!
Unless Norio is Darth Jar Jar, in which case that's going to be the twist of the century here.
Most of you will storm the
Norio
main
is inside with the
Draw
others.
their attention. Send a small band up each side to flank. Use the tree line as cover.
It's the best chance for our
Lord Sakai. Everyone, give me a moment to speak with Lord Sakai.
I can't get over how long his spear is. That's got to just be so inconvenient to walk around with.
You arrived just in time. This way.
I hear you're planning to take back Cedar Temple.
We've been training hard. They're ready.
I recognize some faces here.
From Akashima, I sent messengers to Kushi Temple, but no one came.
After all we did there.
We can free Cedar Temple without them.
You think these people can take back the temple?
We could handle it on our own.
Why risk their lives?
Cedar Temple can be a beacon for all of Tsushima. Everyone who takes part in the attack will be a messenger of hope. We can't carry this message alone. This victory has to be theirs.
When do we ride, Norio?
At dawn, my lord.
Oh man, it's tricky. It's really tricky. I can
For Cedar Temple with the ghost!
I can support that idea insofar as people have an opt-out, right? So like if people don't want to go to Cedar Temple because they don't feel safe or qualified or whatever, if they have an opt-out of that, then I'm okay with this. If we are bringing them in without their consent, then that would bother me. But I do think that Norio is correct. That there's this like kind of bell curve that you want to really hit the middle of if you're the ghost, if you're a galvanizing figure, where early on you don't have a lot of influence because people don't know who you are. Then you gain a bunch of notoriety by the stuff that you do, people believe in you. But if you become the sole person that gets everything done and everybody else is essentially incompetent by comparison, then you have the Batman problem, which is where nobody on the island thinks anybody but the ghost can solve their problems. And that becomes a problem because now everybody's just going to put bat signals instead of trusting in themselves and trusting in other people who have the power to do things on behalf of the island. So it is a good idea to diversify people's sense of competence around their ability to hold their own on the island. So I respect that view. I mean, it makes sense to me. Norio's got a pretty good noggin on him with the way that he's thinking through this.
When you took Castle Kaneda, you did it without the samurai. You must have had doubts going in.
I wasn't sure we could take Kaneda until it was done.
I feel the same without my brother and his men by my side. I wish Enjo was here with us.
His spirit is.
Yeah, I respect that. Lean in. It's okay. That actually, that's super important. It's also why I made Jin answer the way that he did. Acknowledging that you are nervous is not going to destroy your performance. In fact, sometimes lack of acknowledgement of your emotional experience, often lack of acknowledgement of your emotional experience, is what leads to problems because then you're going to get caught off guard by stuff. You take less ownership of it. So this is Norio in a moment as he's getting ready to storm the temple, acknowledging the reality of the situation, which is I'm somewhat nervous because I don't know that we're going to necessarily succeed, but I'm going to make sure that I'm on a heightened state of arousal and I'm doing what I can to try to control what I can control in that moment, given that nervousness is there. Like, it's very important to acknowledge that. That is antithetical to the whole samurai thing, where they're just like, don't feel your feelings and go. This is acknowledge your experience and go. Do this despite being nervous. You start looking at your emotions as things that you can do stuff despite the fact that they are present. That is a generally healthy orientation to have toward your emotional experience. Your emotions are just information. Apprehension here, anxiety, all of this, it's just information. We're going into an unknown. We aren't going to know that we've taken the temple until we've taken the temple. We don't know what's going to be at the temple until we get to the temple. So be anxious and perform. That's the way. It's a cool little ride here. Hey.
You have supporters, Norio.
They remember the Guardian, and they know why we ride for Cedar Temple.
They're fortunate you fight for them.
We should get off the road. This way.
We should get off the road and take the smaller road.
The temple is just ahead, through the cedars.
Are they holding any monks hostage?
No. One reason I told them to cooperate, reduce their risk when we attack.
Good thinking.
Beautiful.
We're getting close.
Breathe, Norio. You can't fight if you hold your breath.
How could you tell?
I know you well enough by now, my friend.
Good. Good. Excellent, Jin. That was a great shot.
Norio and the ghost. We came as soon as we could.
It's good to have Kushi Temple with us.
Cedar Temple, Akashima, and Kushi stand together as one.
You'll attack through the main gate?
Yes. Draw the Mongols' attention while the others flank.
What do you want me?
My lord, this may be my plan, but you should fight as you see fit. All of you, follow me. Stay close.
Hell yeah, dude. This guy's a leader. Guy knows what he's doing. Knows what's up. I nominate Norio for president right now. Hey, uncle, adopt Norio. No, I wouldn't do that to Norio. That'd be really shitty. I hope your clothes are clean, because I'm about to clean your clock.
One of you will die. Everyone who falls will live forever in history.
Watcher's gotta go. Watcher's gotta go. Watcher's gotta go. Watcher's gotta go. Where's the Watcher? There it is. Oh. Yeah. These are like the lower level Mongols. Oh, hey, dude. Oh, damn.
Lord Sakai.
Oh my god, is it just you and I? Oh shit. Oof. Alright. I don't love that.
The temple is yours.
The last time I was here, my brother, Hochi, the abbot, they were all alive.
Starting today, you can rebuild.
Come with me to the main hall. I have to make sure the Mongols did no lasting damage. This way, my lord.
Oh no, okay, we're not the only ones. That would suck if every single monk died except for the two of us.
Norio! Lord Sakai,
What's wrong?
do not go inside the main hall.
Get a hold of yourself. Whatever the Mongols destroyed, we can rebuild. The hall looks fine from the outside.
Oh boy. Yeah, we're not gonna avoid what happened.
Nothing damaged or stolen.
Norio.
Angel? When they took you out of the pit, I thought...
The Mongols promised to spare you. If I told them everything.
I'm here, Angel. It's all right now.
Oh man.
I told them about the abbey. Hochi, Kuchitsera, in Akashima.
It doesn't matter.
Don't worry. I held on to see you. But I can't live like this.
Yes, you can.
No. He asked you to do it, do it.
Please. Brother. Please.
Lord Sakai, would you leave us?
Yes.
Ooh, that's...
His name is Kharcho, the one who burned my brother and cut off his limbs.
This Haricho is among the dead.
Not yet.
Norio, your brother was the Guardian. He died a hero.
No, he didn't. I can find out where this Mongol coward is. But then I'll need your help.
You'll have it.
When the snow lets up, we'll hold the funeral.
Oh, yay. Oh, God. Fortunately, this fits really well within the MO of the Mongols. It's not just about dominance, but it's about breaking spirit. If you kill Enjo, oh man, this is just so complicated. It's so complicated. If you kill Enjo, then Norio only blames the Mongols. He's mad at the Mongols, fuels his fire, he galvanizes more people, go attack. If Enjo is alive, and alive to be able to say to Norio, you're alive because I was willing to give them information that hurt people, that messes with a person. If that person is not well equipped in terms of understanding accountability. Ultimately, Enjo made the decision on his own to answer those questions and theoretically keep Norio alive. Norio didn't put any undue pressure on him to do that. Norio was not part of that decision-making process. Therefore, that is not Norio's burden to live with, as easy as it would be for him to take it on. Mongols tortured him. The Mongols did all that stuff. This is on the Mongols. And we've talked about this in previous playthroughs. I think we may have talked about it earlier in this one, but I'm not sure. People struggle to hold the dead accountable. There's an aversion to that sometimes because of the way that people want to carry the people they care about with them going forward. So this would not be the time, but eventually we would want, if Norio was really struggling, we would be working to move Norio to a place where he can acknowledge that Enjo made that decision. Enjo didn't decide to get tortured, but he decided to give information in order to keep his brother alive, and then it led to torture, and that's on the Mongols. But it's a good strategic move from a Mongol standpoint because of the complexity of that. Right? Get Norio into a position where he questions whether this is his fault. Where he's blaming himself, where he sees all the people by extension that may have been harmed by having that information as the product of, like, basically him being alive is forever associated with their deaths. And then what does that do? Does that destroy him? Does that make him second guess himself? Does that make him want to diminish his presence? It's a great move from the Khan if Norio is beginning to be a strong figure that people are rallying around. In the same way that you want to break Jin's spirit. You want to break Shimura's spirit. You want to break their spirit even more than just show full physical dominance. Because then it gets people questioning their own place in space-time. It gets them questioning the things that they're doing that are rallying people around them. And to an extent, it also does. I mean, even Norio here is thrown off kilter. We have not seen Norio like that yet. He's pissed. And he is now prepared to go risk himself to take out the guy that did this to his brother when he may not have otherwise done that. Or maybe he would have, but it's raw. He had that moment with his brother and he's feeling it. And so now Norio is drawn out. And Jin by extension, because he's supporting him. So this type of strategy is part of it. It's not just moving soldiers in specific places. It's finding the people who all of the people are rallied around and getting them diminished in a way that moves in your favor. And I'm not saying we shouldn't necessarily go after this guy. If it might not be a good idea. But we're gonna do it, obviously, because what the game dictates. We held funeral rites for Enjo the Guardian, Norio's older brother. I should see how Norio is doing. He's right at the temple, so.
My lord, can I help you?
I'm looking for Norio. Where is he?
He brought his brother's ashes to a cemetery. It's in the hills to the south.
I'll look for him there. Thank you.
This threefold world. Cemetery in Sago, damn. Little ways away from here. Dark themes, man. Real shit.
The way he saved Yarikawa strong.
Come on. Come on, jump up there. Jump up there. You can do it. Come on, Notu. There we go. Oh my god, another Mongol camp to take out. Who else wants some? Oh boy, a lot of shit. Oh, look at all of you skiing. Not so big and tough now, huh? Sorry, doggy. Falcon. Falcon. Launch! Do I like sushi? Yes. As long as there's no cucumber in it. Right. Okay. Now we ride south. After we pet the fox. So many rolls have cucumber in them. This is true, which is why anytime I go get sushi, I always say every single roll I'm about to order, do not put cucumber in them. And then they don't, and it's great. Not a big fan of raw, like, white fish, though. So, like, snapper and stuff like that, I'm not keen on. I also don't do eel. But do most anything else aside from that. You don't sub it for anything? Just take it out. There's usually plenty of other stuff in there that I'm ready to get after.
Oreo should be here.
Enjo's urn. He liked the open air better than the pagoda at Cedar Temple.
The Mongol you're looking for. Harucho. Have you found him?
He's not far from here.
Norio, Cedar Temple needs your leadership.
This comes first.
Revenge is not the first duty of a monk.
Before I was a monk, I was a brother.
Don't do this alone. Let me help.
If you wish.
I gotta be fair. I have blasted Ishikawa and Masako for this exact same thing. Just because Norio is a softer, kinder soul doesn't mean that he's immune from a bit of criticism on this. Yeah, the desire to take this guy out makes total sense. But this is even another instance where a person is going in direct violation of their... I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but a person is picking and choosing a spot where they are willing to override their code for a personal reason. Means the integrity of these codes is only good insofar as we act on an honor system around it. Norio is absolutely a key instrument here. He is really pulling people around him. More so than even Masako and Ishikawa. So his orientation to this of basically being like, I was a brother before I was a monk, and I'm going to forego any sense of responsibility I have as a leader to go potentially get myself killed doing this, is not necessarily in the best interest of the people of the island. There doesn't seem to be another person waiting in the wings to take over for Norio on this front. So, you know, do I like the idea of us potentially getting revenge? Yeah, I guess, but not in a way that's going to risk Norio. Ultimately, it is his decision, in the same way that it's been Masako's, in the same way that it has been Ishikawa's. Jin is a lot more, I think, forward here about, like, let me help you. I want to help you. And I think it's because of that difference in terms of Norio really being a key component of leadership here on the the resistance to the Mongols. But this is, it's just, this really illustrates to me it's a dynamic that plays out so often in real life. And I wish it infuriated more people than it does. Which is that the more power and privilege you have relative to various identities and roles that you take on, the more you can say screw it to the code. If some of these other monks forgoed or went, I don't know what the right word is, their responsibility as a monk for a personal vendetta, maybe they get support. Maybe they don't. Maybe they get cast out of the temple. Maybe they say, why would you risk yourself for the temple like that, going out trying to kill a person who killed blah, blah, blah. Norio has power. Norio is a leader. Norio can do this with very little consequence. And it's because of that power dynamic. He's not going to lose his position in the temple by doing this, as far as we know. Shimura goes out of pocket on the samurai code. Maybe the shogun gets mad. Maybe. But as far as the hierarchy of the island, there's nobody on the island to hold him accountable. Like, this is why the accountability really should be like inverse. Like the more power and control you have, the more accountability, checks and balances should exist. We have a tendency to go the opposite way, where like we hold the little guy to just crazy amounts of law and code and moral and blah blah blah, like these standards that just you just keep running into over and over and over again. With a person who has relatively little influence, people with the most influence can just go, in this instance, you're right, Jin, in this instance, screw it, use the Hwacha. Right? Like, there are times where violating that code, if you're doing it in the best interest of your constituents, makes sense. If you're doing it for self-interest in a way that puts a lot of people at danger, then I'm not okay with it. And I could make an argument that that's what Norio's doing here. So I'm going to give him some shit for it in the same way that I have Masako and Ishikawa. You know, Masako was driving me crazy because she was killing her own people. And with just reckless abandon. This is targeted, but it's complicated by the fact that Norio occupies a very important role.
Fort Shoni.
You're sure he's the one responsible?
When I find him, he will pray for a quick death, and his cries will go unheard.
If the situation were reversed, I have a feeling Enjo would forego revenge.
If it were reversed, I'd be dead, and the Guardian would live. Tsushima would be better off.
Go back to Cedar Temple. Let me take care of this.
You're not talking me out of it.
I don't want you to become
Like what? You?
like so many others who have been changed by this war.
It's far too late for that, my lord.
1 second. This war is exposing a lot of stuff. I don't want the war to exist to be the thing that exposes stuff, but this war does expose things. We just got a little bit of insight into Norio's sense of self-worth right there. I idealize my brother, and thus I am really nothing in comparison. I should be the one that's dead. I mean, that to me is an extension of what I was talking about earlier. He's carrying a guilt narrative around this. The island would be better off with my brother, not with me. He's not giving himself a chance to take inventory on the reality of the situation, which is that people think very highly of Norio. You remember that time that we were riding horses past the cabin and all those people were like, there's Norio and the monks? Like, you do matter here, man. I don't see people complaining about the fact that you're in charge. So, you know, Jin basically being like, I don't want you to turn into Masako. I think he's legitimately trying to help Norio out here. Kind of glad we did this third because it makes more sense to me that why Jin would say that, given what he's been exposed to with Masako. Like, yes, again, Norio, if Norio wants to go do this, he can do this. Jin doesn't have to go with him. At some point, Jin going with him means he has to get over this talk him out of it thing. But it's just, this is complicated shit, man. This is what happens. Like, there's a fundamental underpinning of my field. And I'm a systemic therapist. In any theory that you ever look at or model of intervention, a core foundational principle that you will find when you like read about these theories and get more immersed in them is that you see issues under adversity and transition. That when things are status quo and at equilibrium, it doesn't really expose a lot. When systems are put under duress in some way or are forced to transition, or development just dictates that transition happens, that is when you see certain dynamics get exposed in a way that you never otherwise would have, and how people adapt to those transitions and adversity is really going to be either there are healthy ways to respond to that are in your best interest, and there are unhealthy ways to respond to that. It's all very contextual. We go through transitions on a daily basis in small form, but ultimately we see like a structural family therapist, for example, would say to you here that like for so long as the system of Tsushima does not adapt to the needs of the environment and the adversity that's been placed upon it, so long as it rigidifies itself, it is not going to be successful. And that should track for you, if you've been paying attention at all to what I've been saying throughout this entire playthrough, which is that the more that the samurai go code, 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 and everybody just tries to keep things the way that they are and try to forcibly just not deal with what's happening with the Mongols, it has caused problems for the island. When a system allows itself a degree of still having boundaries, but a degree of flexibility to meet the needs and demands of the adversity that's striking the system, it is more likely, not guaranteed, to be successful. So some of these adaptations that are happening here are not necessarily bad, but you have to be mindful about the way in which you intentionally move through these transitions, or else you're likely going to get caught up in a whole mess. Kind of like Norio is right now. Like many are. People don't respond to change very well.
spot down here where you can see the fort. I put everything you taught me to good use tracking Kharsho.
What does he look like?
Like every other murdering, honorless Mongol dog.
You may only get one chance at him.
I'll know him when I see him.
When you have him in your sights, strike without delay.
Oh, baby.
Dogs, get away from there!
Norio!
Please, we were just hungry. Spare us. We're leaving.
Norio, don't.
Norio, they weren't a threat.
Maybe. They're definitely not now.
Oh, boy.
They should have known better.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. This is scary. This is scary, man. I would say probably a good amount of people who are watching this have been in a situation like this, where you are with a person where there is absolutely nothing you're going to do to talk them out of where they're at. It is a anxiety-inducing spot, because oftentimes it facilitates a sense of hope, like a hopelessness and helplessness, where you're like, holy shit, like Norio is away from his prefrontal cortex right now. Buddy is steeped in the emotion. And unfortunately, what happens is that the more emotional you get, the more your complex narratives become simple. So instead of Norio working with 128 crayons, he's working with like 8 right now. And that's really scary stuff, because Norio has power and he has control. And so he is like on a warpath right now in a way that if Jin tries to talk any sense into him, we're likely to run into the same buzzsaw that we ran into with Masako, where he's gonna take a, if you're not with me, I mean, he may be, this is a little more fresh, a little more open to this, but like, if you're not with me, you're against me. If you're in my way, you're against me, which is essentially the case with these guys. A switch flipped. As soon as he walked into that pagoda and saw his brother like that, and heard his brother say, "You're alive because I chose to answer questions and get tortured," this brought up heaps and heaps and heaps of history that's going into this. And he is not present in a way that we would want him to be. He doesn't have his full mental faculties here. It's an understandable thing, but it's a scary thing. And if your follow-up question to me is, well, Dr. Mick, like, how do you get through to a person like this? Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you recognize that there is a runaway train and you control what you can control, which is getting out of the situation. Or go with it. But accept that if you go with it, you are on a runaway train. You're not on a train that's got a nice, 25 years of service conductor running the thing. So, are you going to jump off the train before it gets way too out of control, or are you going to ride it? But if your whole orientation of this is, I got to change Norio's mind, you might do a couple things to see where he's at. But once you get that sense that he's a runaway train on this, now it's about you and the decision that you're going to make about this, rather than constantly trying to change that person to suit your fancy.
Dance and reach nirvana. Retreat and find hell.
What's that from?
A prayer Enjo inscribed on this Naginata after he saved Kushi Temple from bandits.
And became the guardian. He suffered more than either of us know. But he held on so he could see you.
Don't you say
You
it.
know what his last words to me were? I was wrong.
About what?
I'll never know.
Ooh.
Harsha's last words will be a howl of pain.
Oh, man, my God. Oh, God. Oh, this is so... Oh, sucks. This sucks. Ambiguity is often so bad for people, not because of the ambiguity itself, because of the way that you fill the gaps. The best thing that Norio could possibly say to himself in response to the fact that his brother's last words were, "I was wrong," is, "I don't know what he meant." Which means that he could have meant anything. Which means that the overwhelming amount of possibilities of what he meant are things that I will never imagine. So I am going to sit just with the ambiguity of the fact that I will never know what he meant by that. I won't ever get that moment back. I don't ever get to have that context. I'm never going to know, and I got to make my peace with that. Because if you don't, the thing that happens to so many people, and I swear I say this as a word of warning to you if you are ever in this type of position, where you don't get closure on something. When the reason people struggle with ambiguity is because you fill the gaps with your own projections, your own shit. So when Norio hears I was wrong, if he doesn't do what I just said, he's going to immediately get into whatever kind of insecurities and projections he has, and he's going to wonder if it means that his brother was wrong. Does he mean I was wrong? If he indulges his lack of self-worth around this, I was wrong to keep you alive and leave myself tortured. I was wrong about you. It could be, he's going to get into that. And people will wormhole themselves on that forever because Enjo is never going to come back and say what that meant. So you got to be so careful in the context of relationship ambiguity and lack of closure that you don't fill the gaps with your own shit, that you take it for what it is. It could be anything. It could be good for Norio. It could be bad. It could have nothing to do with him. That's the reality we got to work with here. It's really hard to do. Easy to be outside of that type of situation and acknowledge these things. But boy, howdy, man, you got to be ready for that if you're ever in that type of situation. And this is part of what's going to make this brutal for him.
We should get some rest, Norio. For tomorrow.
You're right, my lord. I'll save my strength for Karacho.
This guy's going through it, man. God, that's rough.
Norio. Where is
He already left. Of course he did. Yep.
The fort is in flames. What did
Yeah.
Norio do?
What did Norio do? Well, he clearly didn't pour water on it.
My lord! Please, help! He's gone mad!
What happened?
Norio! At first, when I saw him, I thought my prayers were answered, but...
Return to Cedar Temple. I'll handle this.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I didn't see it going here. I really didn't think this was going to go here. So, big applause to Sucker Punch for sucker punching me on this, because I did not see Norio going this way. It makes sense given what happened, but like when we started this quest line, did not think it was going to get here. It was pretty interesting. It makes sense. Like what he's doing makes sense. It's just this is what happens when you're on a warpath and you have power.
Norio. Seek refuge in Amida Buddha.
Dude, this bug is driving me crazy. So I'm literally changing my armor right now because I hate that bug. In the middle of this like amazing moment, that bug is just no good. No good for me.
Who did this?
Norio. He's lost his mind.
Oh my goodness. He even hurt his own people. Oh, buddy.
You do not have the courage to do it. Burn! Burn for your crimes, butcher!
You once told me you would never swing your naginata in hatred.
I did what the ghost would do. And now Harsho is gone.
Oh, he bit on the idealization of the ghost. And this is, man, this is what I was talking about with the bell curve. If Batman becomes your only symbol of getting things done, your tolerance for vigilante justice goes up significantly. Batman is seen as special forces, not something that the general layman is capable of, and there are other systems that give you confidence that you'll be taken care of. You don't do this. Norio has internalized this very ideal sense of what Jin is and what he represents. It's now no longer the realistic, nuanced version that is what we've been talking about throughout this entire playthrough. It is now the myopic story that Norio has launched a whole bunch of projections into, as many other people will do. So this is scary for Jin, too, because this is where the ghost starts to become something bigger than even what he is. It's no longer funny stories about being 10 feet tall with red eyes. This is now all of a sudden, oh shit, people are empowered to do crazy stuff because they think that what I'm doing, I'm only doing for the sake of anarchy, to be antithetical to the code. Jin is not being antithetical to the samurai code. He has certainly modified it. He has certainly modified it. He has certainly taken liberties when he can, and I'm not necessarily justifying all of that. But unfortunately, the farther away you get from Jin, the more simplistic you get in your narrative about what the ghost is, and it slips away. And oh boy.
I'm not going back to Cedar Temple. Not after this.
Where will you go?
It doesn't matter. He was still alive when I lit the wood. When he screamed, it filled me with joy. And I would do it again. I'm no longer a monk.
You don't get to give up. We all have regret
Don't say that, Jin.
and broken promises. But this island needs you. The last warrior monk of Cedar Temple.
I can't go back to what I was before this.
I'm not asking you to go back. I'm asking you to keep your faith and move forward.
Thank you, Jin.
I'll see you at Cedar Temple.
Oh, God damn it. Oh. I am more with Norio on this than I am Jin, if I'm being totally honest with you. Like, Norio going out into the woods and kind of reflecting on what he wants to be and asking himself if what he just went through after he has a cooler head is actually what he wants is probably the better route. Because now, unfortunately, when Norio returns to the Cedar Temple, people will follow him because they're terrified. Not because they are empowered. You can't unknow what Norio did here. His own people were harmed by this. If he went in and, you know, did what we've done in these Mongol encampments and just nuked the Mongols, I think people would probably be a little more like, yeah, dude, all right. But when you walk up to this temple and people are like, dude, he snapped. He lost his mind. There's no control here. Our own people are hurt. It would be like Jin running in to any of these, like, taking over camps and just swinging at everybody. Not really caring who went down because he's got a mission and it's to burn this encampment to the ground. That would instill fear. That all of a sudden doesn't give you a sense that person's in your corner. Now it's, geez, I sure hope I don't piss Norio off. Because look what this dude's capable of. Oh, man, oh, man. I think if Norio goes off somewhere and reflects and takes time, returning to the temple, I think in time people might be able to wrap their heads around. If he comes back with his tail between his legs and takes accountability for what he did and he says, that's not what a monk does. I lost my mind. Here's how that happens. I want to ensure that none of you deal with what it is that happened to me. And I think that's a bit of the way that he would have to play that in order to have any play in this temple. It's just, this is, oh boy. And people will do that, by the way. Like, people will take you back if you show contrition and that you've, like, learned and understand the impact of your actions and stuff like that. Like, some people won't. There will always be a sect of monks that are like, nah, Norio ain't it. You're gonna have that no matter what. But you can buy back a good amount of people if you really take accountability and acknowledge the impact of stuff. I don't know how this is gonna go, but this is pretty rough, man, because Norio is the worrisome extreme reaction you get to what Jin has represented for people. Jin has become an excuse for Norio to act badly. Soldier supplies. Nomadic Mongol tribes only travel with what is immediately needed, a practice aided by their ability to live largely off the land. Beyond the weapons necessary for conquest, Mongol soldiers often travel packed with sundries like fish hooks and other tools useful for maintaining a varied and flexible diet. Oh. This is great the way that this is all being handled. I legitimate kudos to Sucker Punch for the way they're representing this, because this absolutely makes sense that this would like work the way that it has. Oh. Appreciate y'all being here, by the way. Thank you for taking the time to plug away through this long-ass playthrough. I really appreciate it. Thanks for caring what I have to say. Island's Keeper. The Jimmy Buffett katana sheath. Ginny Buffett. Shut up, Ryan.
They are not here to help us.
Of course they are. They're the Shogun samurai.
I know how these great lords
All right,
think.
while you listen to these guys talk, I'm going to pee really quick because I've drank way too much tea tonight. So I'll be right back.
Why?
He already lost one battle against the Mongols. On top of that, his nephew's the ghost. One more slip up.
And Oga samurai step in. Take control.
Exactly. Once lords start fighting, keep your head down and wait for the blood to dry.
Lord Sakai turned his back on us. Nothing we can do.
Okay. Kitty man. Oh, kitty man. Kitty man. I'll lay down. Lay down, buddy. I love you. But I gotta play the game. I gotta play the game, kitty man.
It's good to have some extra hands around here.
Indeed.
How are the others?
Ready to follow wherever you lead. The sensei told them you're the only person on Tsushima who can kill the Khan.
I can't do it alone. Or without a plan of attack.
And we know he's at Port Izumi, surrounded by an army.
We need to know the weakness in their defense. How to get past them. And where to find the Khan.
Sounds like we need a hawk's view of the place. I know where we can get one. We'll have cover of darkness if we leave now.
Port Izumi. Oh, baby.
Port Izumi. We'll have a better view from the lighthouse. Just need to get up there.
Without being noticed. Let's move.
Come on, Jack. Be a kitty party in here. Because you can't have one without the other when you got bonded cats. my little station set up here nicely for both of them. Okay, now we're good. Gotta get down to that watchtower.
Why would the Khan come up here?
He'll sail for our mainland. Attack it, just like he did here. This is our last chance to stop him.
These flowers.
The same ones I used to make my poison.
Mongols have been here picking them.
To use against us.
Did you do the right thing at your uncle's castle?
Took a risk, and my poison saved thousands.
What if it kills thousands more?
We have to stop the Khan before it comes to that.
You're right. We need to kill him. Soon.
In this situation, I tend to agree. There are people that throughout history, their death was not the worst thing in the world. I do not believe that the Khan being killed here is going to lead to a level of martyrdom that is going to get the Mongols to just be like absolutely in an uproar and ready to go. The Khan is a very specific person here that possesses a level of capability in thinking through how to handle this war that I would be surprised if there are others immediately waiting in the wings that would be as successful as him at doing it. So the idea that if we kill the Khan, we really mess this up for the Mongols, I tend not to disagree here. I'm not an advocate for death. Some deaths are not as bad as others.
We can't get in the front, but we could climb around the cliff.
And sneak in through the back. Lead the way.
Oh, hey, bud. Shit, he turned around at the worst time. Oh, no. Khan is also already in power, which is a little bit of a difference than like if he was waiting to be in power. Like I think if Jin is killed, it martyrs him because he's not like in power yet. So there's differences in context around this too. Thank God these guys are all conveniently facing the other way. Milk pot. Being nomadic and pastoral, the Mongols' primary food groups are milk products and a variety of meats, centering around the livestock herds they travel with. Personal pet peeve. The use of the English language is when people say centering around. Doesn't make much sense. Oxymoron. Centering on would be the way to say that. Doesn't matter. In the end of the day, I don't actually care, but it's just personal pet peeve. Even so, the Mongols rarely drink fresh milk instead of relying on fermentation to produce alcoholic drinks, processed curds, yogurts, and arag. Must be a gassy bunch. Okay, man, stinky bunch. Oh, I thought I was gonna Spartan kick him off the mountain. That's true, they do have the fermented yogurt. Good point. Oh boy, they are mass producing the poison.
What's in all these barrels? Supplies?
Flowers. Poison. One barrel holds enough to kill hundreds. Khan will use this against the mainland.
Oof.
We can't let him leave Tsushima. We'll scout Port Izumi from the top of the lighthouse.
Right behind you.
Boy. Oh my god. We should probably just torch this lighthouse. Actually. Because, holy crap.
Look at the waves. They're flat.
The kind you see before a storm.
That could work to our advantage. For now, I'll leave the lighthouse dark. Make sure the Mongols can't use it when the storm hits.
You can relight it once they're gone. Let's get a look at the port. Over here.
Let's find our plan of attack. That ridge has an open sightline to the Mongol fleet.
Imagine what we could do to their ships if we had our own watchers.
Yeah, imagining things isn't really going to work with stuff we don't have, but thank you.
The Mongols left that area empty,
Too open. Can't defend it.
but a good place for an ambush. We could place archers there.
Force the Mongols to fight uphill?
Khotam would send horsemen to outflank us. See how the birds are circling?
Like they're scared of something on its way.
The storm, preparing to fly inland for shelter. The harbor master's estate. The Khan may have taken it for himself.
Close to the docks. And his fleet. Makes sense.
The Khan is almost ready to sail for our mainland. With ships full of men, explosives, and my poison. If we don't stop him here, the shogunate will fall.
The storm is our key to beating him.
When it comes, the Khan will have to shelter his fleet in the bay. That's when we strike.
Destroy his ships and everything on them. To do this, we'll need Mongol weapons.
A simple task for a master thief.
We'll need fighters too.
A small force could distract the Mongols, while I get inside Port Izumi. Kill the Khan.
It could work.
Let's get back to Jokaku and prepare.
Oh, baby. Yeah, Jack, do you think we're going to get it done? Do you think we going to win? As long as you get belly scratches, you don't care. Hey, you don't care. Just scratch my belly and then we're good. You don't have to worry about the Mongols. Mongols scratch your belly too? Everybody scratch your belly because you're Jet Jack. Yeah. You're Jet Jack. You're the best. Oh, just kidding. I love you. I love you. Okay. He's just laying on his side, looking at me, going like this. Impossible to ignore. Oh, Jet Jet. Oh. It's your brother. Hi. Yeah. Also, I need to clip his nails, and he's giving me a chance. I have to hang tight. This is a rare occurrence. Because he hates this. He hates it. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Give me a second. Just let me do it. Let me do this one. Let me do this one. Come on, be a buddy. Be a bro. Be a bro. Come on. Be cool. Be cool. Got it. Yes. Oh. You just witnessed an important moment in the life of a cat over. Holy crap. I got you. We're good. We're cool now. Yeah. Go back to belly rubs. I'm sorry I did that, but I had to. It was getting too sharp. And you were biting at it, and you were picking at it. Heart of the Jito. Speak with the Yuna. Right. Funny enough, he's not actually, he just seemed to hold a grudge on that. Like, as long as I, like, start petting him and scratch him afterwards, he starts purring again and he's fine.
Heard the Mongols are taking blacksmiths into their camp.
I've got some good news.
Are the plans coming?
Kenji found where we can steal watches from the Mongols. I'm heading there now.
That's a good start.
Attaboy, Kenji.
But we need more fighters.
No.
My uncle wants the Khan dead as much as we do.
No way.
He'll join our attack.
No
He'll throw you
way.
in prison.
Jin.
I'll write him a message. Leave it in his quarters.
In a castle full of samurai.
I'll be gone before they know I was there.
Really? Jin. I mean, I get it, but also, like, no way. No way. You are so underestimating him.
Let's hope my uncle reads it.
Oh, no. Ill-advised.
I'm not letting you leave without a good horse.
Hey, no two's cool, alright? Shit on my horse, I've
Can't
been building a
replace what you
relationship.
lost. But give one of these a chance.
Yes, tactically, this makes sense. But this rests on so many unknown variables. First of all, you don't even know if your uncle's going to read the note. Second of all, you don't know how your uncle's going to respond to the note. If Jin gets compromised by this, this whole thing falls apart. Like, yes, there's urgency around this, but also there's probably other avenues to entertain around this. I mean, obviously his uncle knows that he's at large. And he does know his uncle well enough to know that, yeah, he probably wants the Khan dead. But also, like, I don't put it past Shimura that he wants Jin to, like, not be involved in this. Because, like, how... Oh, God. I mean, because the Shogun's not going to like this anyway. If Shimura and... This, oh, man. All right, we're just going to let it play out. The digital deluxe horse will be with you for the entire journey. Oh. That one looks too much like Nobu. I'm going to ride the white steed. Because he's cool as hell. Black one's cool, too. But I'm the ghost. A digital deluxe horse is available, but you've chosen the white horse. Wait, what? What the hell's the difference? Other than he just looks like Nobu. No. I bet a huge amount of people take the white horse.
I'm a friend.
What will you name this one?
Kaze Wind, Sora Sky, Cage Shadow. Sora.
Sora, light from the heavens.
Good choice. How will you get inside your uncle's castle?
I grew up there. And I still remember every hidden path through those old walls. Even as a boy, old Shimura couldn't keep up with me.
Enter Castle Shimura from the north. Okay. Wow, wow. Okay, we're gonna... Do I want to make this ride? I want to make the 2,000-kilometer ride. I do. I don't want to meddle with modern conveniences. Boomer Jin. Yeah, can we... F's for no two, please. He was a good horse, man. I don't really think we needed to replace him, but... Would have been an interesting game mechanic if Father's Wind changes, you got further into the Ghost storyline, like it started getting weaker or misdirecting you. Conceptually, I can see why that would be interesting, but from like a practicality standpoint, I rely on the wind a lot to send me in the right direction, and so unless they replaced it with something that's just as intuitive and integrated in the environment, I would hate that. Because I don't really want my time wasted, you know? Like I rely on the wind a lot to take me where I'm going, and so if you're like, never mind, psych, you went the wrong way, I would frustrate me. You guys better not fight. Okie dokie. That is one way to die. Look at that. The Khan will be pleased by that guy. Look at that. That dude just got promoted. Lifetime supply of sake for that guy. Sir, we have great news. The ghost has been handled. How? Joe kicked him off his horse and he fell down a cliff. Yeah, the Khan just takes his jacket off, says, "You're the Khan now, man." That was good. That was excellent. The guy who kills the ghost, yeah. I'll be your spiritual advisor, but you're the Khan now. Hey, everybody, Joe's the Khan now. And this kid that was always jealous of Joe because he was dating the girl he liked, like sitting there in the corner sipping his milk. He's just like seething over the fact like Joe gets another win. Bullshit. I've been tracking the ghost forever. This asshole shows up and just magically is dead. And he watches as Joe Khan kisses that woman who's now become his wife. Plots an assassination attempt. Ends up killing Joe Khan when he goes to bed. Joe Khan wasn't really ready for it. Old Khan has lost the support of the people because he didn't kill the ghost and he relinquished his coat. Tries to take his coat back, no longer a powerful force. Mongols in shambles. It was Jin's plan all along.
should destroy the siege weapon.
I should destroy that siege weapon. Holy shit. That's pretty intense shit right there. Oh, Jin was playing the long con. Ooh, that's good. Wish I would have thought of that. That's good. Ah, that would have been a great way to cap it off. Credit where credit's due, King.
That's my sword.
Better Hills Garrison. Did I clear it out while I'm here? I guess. What's up, guys? Hey. Jeez.
What's-ий? Ямар тааш битэн байгаарай.
Okay, here we go. Hey, where do you think he went? Oh, geez, right there. Oh, God. Let's go get your third kill, Ryan. Get your bonus. There we go. God, another watch out. Oh, so all you gotta do is just fall down to the ground and all of a sudden I can't have you strike your ass. Holy hell, man. Oh, oh boy. Where's the Hwacha operator? No longer with us. Beauty. All right. Continue south. just like a horse stable? Something? Oh, we're at that. This is that place where that dude. Yeah. God, that guy's still hanging there. Jesus. I know where we are.
Couldn't do this without you, boy.
Oh man, you're starting to say all the same shit you used to say to Nobu, Jin. That's okay. There it is. Oh boy, Uncle. This is just, this is not it, man. This is not gonna go well. Just, oh, buddy. Oh, buddy. Your uncle does not show the same level of flexibility to the code and honor that you do. And Jin's expectation that he will put family over that is truly a misstep. His understanding of what his uncle is.
Uncle.
Jin, why did you run away?
I wanted to catch an eel for your dinner.
Were you planning to catch it with your bare hands?
Ryuzo said you'd get rid of me as soon as you had a son of your own.
Jin, come here. Your friend is wrong. The path ahead may take a lifetime, but I will walk it with you. Always.
Kids say shit, man. Kids believe stuff. I actually often think that it's less about what kids say and more about like kids not having the capacity to really understand the full context and really put what another kid says into that context and be relatively unaffected by it. Like, of course, I mean, sure, Ryuzo said that. You teach Jin to hear what Ryuzo says with discretion. That's where the skill is there. The lesson there is, unless you hear it directly from me, take it with a grain of salt. Of course Ryuzo said that. Of course he did.
They won't be watching the cliff face.
I'm gonna have to take that fisherman out. We'll find out in the next episode. Thank you so much, my friends, for hanging out with me for part 37. 38's going to be a doozy, I know it. Please take a second to leave a thumbs up and leave a comment if you haven't already. Check the links, all that fun stuff that I ask you to do every single episode. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Please. This has been a wild ride. Scaling that wall and looking my uncle in the eye is gonna be crazy. So if you're binging, I'll see you right here in the next episode. If you're waiting for the next one to come out, I'll get it out as soon as I can. Appreciate you. You matter. I'll see you on the next one.